From the vault, Smithy. From the vault. Who we got?
Mate, we got one of the greatest vortex shamans to ever live, a scientist of skits pits, a cinematographer of deep and mortal consequence, a true call lord if ever there was one. Brian Conley and his My Eyes Won't Dry series, so ahead of the curve. Used a helmet cam, a board rig, and a backpack camera mount that took us inside filthy South Pacific, Central American, and Indonesian roping orbs. All shot on. I don't think it was filmed, but because of the size of the camera mounts, there is this crazy ephemeral quality to it. It's really like the sequel or the heir apparent to that throne first sat upon by the great Jorge Greenho. He took what Greeno did in Echoes and Innermost Limits and multiplied it by 1,000 micrograms of orange sunshine LSD. A vegan, born in Long Beach, California, before relocating to Mexico in 2006 to be closer to his beloved cones at Porto and Pascali's there. One of the greats, Fawn. Even the psycho kind of Marty Worthington inspired cover art for those DVDs is insane. But My Eyes Won't Dry 2 is really the pinnacle of interdimensional vortex travel as depicted by one of the true greats, like just that fucking quintessential Californian core stonery acid freak who never says a single word, but is just getting his mind blown on the daily by throaty pits and bringing us along for the ride. Well played, Conley.
Who is the modern equivalent of him, do you think?
I think he passed the baton on to Mikala Jones in the GoPro era.
Yes.
He was really good.
That's really true. And maybe it is like a Tosh Tudor who's in the next wake of that lineage. Just guys who travel around, don't really care too much for turns or like having, like little playful surfs here and there. They just want to get the viz and they want to capture the viz and they just want to share that funneling vortex interdimensional travel, bruh.
Yeah, I'd throw Nate Florence in that category too. Here's an excerpt from the 99 times Gold Cone Piece award-winning American surf journalist Alex Wilson from Surf Mag over there. He did this ripper feature.
Rip it.
On Conley. You can track it down. Just Google it. There's a good amount. This is like in the fucking world of Conley. There's a good amount of current running through the lineup. Huge rips popping up and then disappearing just as fast. And Conley and Smith trawl for runways, smooth patches of water between the disturbances that are ideal windows for a clean, makeable, and shootable section. What's remarkable is that even now the preparation process hasn't stopped. In fact, there are almost as many factors for Conley to be cognizant of while he's bouncing around on the back of a jet ski as when he's on land. The difference is everything is accelerated. As I watch them work, it almost seems like Conley has more than two arms. In one hand, he has the housing, which is cumbersome at best. In the other, he has his board, a thin but heavy Xanadu quad. Somehow, he manages to maintain possession of both and hang on to the ski and successfully step off into jacking bombs and roll film, and all while 12-foot walls of whitewater detonate around him. I ask him to describe the process after 3 12-hour days of shooting. How many details do you have to remember from start to finish to get a single clip? Conley takes a deep breath. Then he answers, the cameras get so hot sometimes, he says, they fog up inside the housing, so you have to make sure that isn't happening. You have to keep it cool. And you're always keeping the lens clean, so you're always spitting on the lens or licking it so you can keep water spots off the port when you're riding the wave. That's really important. And that's ongoing all session, before and after waves, in between sets, I ask. Always, he says. And you also have to make sure the settings are correct. You have to hold onto a board, dip the camera to get a sheet of water onto the port, stay on the ski, all while a guy is chasing down a wave. Sometimes I'm literally holding on with my toes and we'll be going after a wave and I'll be looking at the camera and thinking about if it's ready, if it's recording. Then sometimes I don't even see the wave before I'm up. Sometimes there won't be time. I'll just be asking Dave, do you like it? Yeah? You like this one? And then I'm in. and I'll get up and I have to go straight to my feet. I can't go to my belly and then get up because of the housing. So it can be a real critical step. You can't hit a chop or dig a rail. And at that point, you're already shooting. Right, you have to think about your composition and what you're capturing, what the wave is going to do, where you're going to set your bottom turn, whether you should wait so you can get deeper in the barrel. You never know what you're going to get, so you have to negotiate different lines, and then you have to try not to get hit by the wave or your board as you're kicking out. Then, if I'm on the inside waiting to get picked up, if there's a good barrel coming, I'll try to get a couple water shots of the empty wave too. Mate, pretty wild. Pretty fucking wild. What is wild about it is the size of the mounts he's using. These aren't little fucking GoPros you stick in your mouth. Like, these things are humongous.
Yeah, it is the Greenhoff era. It's when you had to carry like tons of fucking gear on your back just to get a bit of vis out there, Smithy.
It continues. Wilson asked whether having to do all that thinking and having all these extra elements in play alters the experience of actually standing in the barrel. Conley thinks about this question for a moment. In a way, I've asked him whether attempting to preserve and document the thing he loves most has tainted the experience of living it. And I can see the gears working in his head as he mentally projects himself into the pit. The room goes silent. Then he answers, without a hint of doubt. No, he says definitively. Once you're in there, you're in that moment. Picking the right lines, it's insane. And to capture it as well, it's almost a little more gratifying. It happens so fast and it's so hard to get sick waves. And when you finally get them and get the shot, it's all that much more rewarding. But yeah, when you're in there, it's instincts. There are a lot of instincts in surfing. That's interesting, I say, because part of it is so cerebral. You have to be conscious of so many details. And then a second later, it's pure instinct, he says. Once I'm sure the camera is rolling, I'm pretty much just surfing the wave. And the camera, at that point, it's like the camera is gone. And the best thing about this is Brian Conley captured so much insane in the tube footage, much of it from the back of a jet ski, not all of it though, but he captured so much of it that everyone else can fucking stop. Yeah, you can throw your GoPros away, it's done. Just watch My Eyes Won't Dry 1, 2, and 3.